Live.
Your life. We want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash.
We want to give double honors to the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And we also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. So today we're going to start out in Proverbs 1, where the Spirit took me earlier. So go ahead, brother. Proverbs 7 and 1. 7 and 1.
This is Proverbs 7 and 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live.
So my son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. So, you know, our goal in this truth is, even though we're in captivity, we should be trying to keep these laws and these statutes to the best of our ability, you know. We're living in Babylon, so, you know, there's certain things that are going to be hard to keep, you know. But we got to still strive to do the best that we can in keeping Yahweh's laws and statutes. You know, there are some of these alphabet camps that, you know, they preach law, you know, and we know that the law is not going to save us, but that doesn't mean we're going to abandon the law. Power. Right?
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 2, and verse 16. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahushai HaMashiach.
Come. And the faith, you know, the fruit of your faith is going to be your works, right? And that's why we come out here week in and week out, because people say, oh, why do you go out on the streets? Well, the reason why is each man is working out his own salvation. And we were commanded by Yahweh and his son to feed the flock, right? We need to be fishermen of men right now, right? So that's what we do. Why we come out here on these streets, you know, every week. You know, this is the actual work, you know. To the world, we're a spectacle, but this is our faith. So, you know, we're literally praying, meaning begging. The word pray means beg, but we're begging for our ticket for that chariot, you know, to be saved. Go ahead.
Hold on, it says, even we have believed in Yahushai HaMashiach, that we might be justified by the faith of HaMashiach, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
Con. Yeah, meaning that law is not gonna come. That's not gonna save you. You know, you have to keep the law. Doesn't mean you just abandon it like the Christian church teaches. You know, they preach that the law is done away with, and they say that you're saved by grace. Well, that's a lie, you know, because we know that these commandments and statutes are to be kept forever through all generations.
Well, let me keep going. It'll bring it to the full circle. It says, verse 17, but if while we seek to be justified by Hamashiach, we ourselves also are found sinners, is therefore Hamashiach the minister of sin? Yahweh forbid.
God, because this flesh is a burden to your soul. You know, your flesh keeps you from being able to keep the law 100%. You know, but you got camps, these alphabet camps like IUIC, that are teaching that, you know, they're so hard on the law. You know, they're rocking their fringes everywhere they go, even in the captivity. Which, you know, I'm not going to say that that's wicked. Obviously, it's not. But we also know that, hey, we're in captivity. When you're teaching, you better have your fringes on. You know what I mean? You know, but there's a time and place in this captivity where we should be, you know, fully dedicating ourselves to these laws. You know? Because there are laws. There's a law in the scriptures where when your woman's on her time of the month, you're supposed to put her out of the house with a family member. You know, she needs to go stay with her family. You know, we can't keep that law in our captivity. You know, half of these brothers, you know, may not even have family that are willing to do something like that for you, you know, to keep this law. So you can't keep every law perfect, man, but you got to thrive to keep it perfect.
And that's what it is. That's why I said, if we seek to be justified by the Mashiach. So we got guys that'll come into this thing or read the Bible and realize, oh, there was a sacrifice for us, so we could do whatever we want. And that's not the case, man. Yahushua isn't the minister of sin. He's not there so you could sin. He's there so you could be forgiven, man. So for the things that we've done in the past and the things that you may come up short on, those are the things in which Yahushua picks up, man. But he's not there so you could be a 200% nigga, but scream con on the side of the road. Yeah. That's not what he's there for, man.
Not only that sacrifice that the brother just brought out, you know, back in the days, for atonement, they would sacrifice the animals. With Yahushua was the sacrificial lamb. Right? That's what changed. You know, we don't sacrifice animals anymore. Now, you know, but we know that the law is still in effect.
Going on, it says, verse 18, or if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Right. So, you know, come into this truth, and you know, the first step is repenting. Okay, but if you start to understand these scriptures and say, oh well, you know, the law is done away with because the Messiah was crucified, there was a sacrifice for us. And then you start going into those old ways. What separates you from the world, man? If you build up the things that you destroy, you're making yourself a transgressor, man. You're transgressing the laws. So you see, it's like the brothers were bringing out, man. It showed both points, all right, both sides of the story. There's a balance. You need to strive to be perfect within the law, but where you come up short, that's where the Messiah creeps up on, man. And that's why the Christians are some of the most wicked people you can find on the planet Earth today, man. Because they believe you can do whatever the hell you want and be forgiven. And then yet they want to condemn a homosexual or something, which there ain't nothing wrong with that, of course. But you need to concentrate on your own self first, man.
And by the same token, they have you know, homosexual pastors leading their churches. You know?
So you got them that go all the way the fuck off left field, man.
Con.
We'll jump back into Proverbs 7.
Yeah, we'll finish off that whole chapter.
This is going back on Proverbs 7 and verse 4. Verse 3. Yeah. Bind them, all right, being the commandments and the laws, upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. Now, as I was saying, I'm gonna go write, get a T-shirt that's printed a certain law. No, man. It's talking about in a spiritual sense, because you actually have people that'll do that, especially in Israel. They'll tie you know, certain scriptures around their hands. I forget what they call it, but they wrap it around with rope, and they do the same thing on their foreheads. You know, just a thing of pride. That's really what it is, man. Just like the fringes.
It's like a showmanship and vanity. You know, they want everybody to see what they're doing. You know, they want to be seen by men. You know.
And verse 4, it says, "Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words."
God. That strange woman, it's not dealing with just any strange woman. It's dealing with women outside of the nation of Israel. You know, and why does Yahweh say that in this verse through David? It's because, you know, Yahweh teaches that if we go off and find a woman of another nation or another, I'm actually looking for the precept right now, because that was one of the precepts that I forgot to keep. But what it is
I got an example.
You know, you have, is it in Kings?
It's just King Solomon.
Oh, okay. So what it is yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's in the book of, yeah, that's the spirit right there. That's what I'm looking. Is it 11?
Done.
All right.
I'll just start at verse 1. It says, "But King Solomon loved many strange women, which the sin wasn't that he loved the strange women. The sin wasn't that he popped and had relations with these strange women. But we're going to see what the sin was. It says, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, the so-called Chinese, Ammonites, the so-called
Japanese,
Edomites,
the so-called whites,
Sidonians and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall ye come in, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
Khan, and that word heart goes back to your mind in Hebrew, okay? It means these women, if Solomon was dealing with women of, Chinese, Japanese, all these different, they have different gods that these women serve, right? So the sin is that Solomon actually went off to the point where he was sacrificing unto their idols, to the Buddha.
That's why these heathen women, man, are only meant to be concubines at the most.
Khan, that's their place, that's their lot. They're not going to be inside the palace, in the kingdom.
I mean, look at King David, for example. His mother, his grandmother was a Moabite. A so-called Chinese.
Yep.
So, and that's where the lineage of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach came from, man, the Messiah.
So yeah, like the brother was saying, it's not sinful to take on a heathen woman or to go up in a heathen woman. But the sin lies when you get too heavy in that, you're going to be caused to your mind to turn.
Here, let me get this next verse.
Even the great King Solomon, who was in high regard in the scripture, went off because of that thing.
Yep.
Strange women.
It says, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart.
So he went off, man, and you see that in the world all the time. You see a brother, maybe not in GMS, but a brother that gets with a woman, and next thing she's in a Christian church, and that thing is heavy. That stumbling block is heavy on her. So she, she asks her man, hey, let's go to the church with me this Sunday. Next thing you know, he's sitting there, following the ways of the heathen. It may be the Christmas week or you know what I mean. You leave the true doctrine to go be a whore. You know what I mean? That's that whoredom we're talking about. Idolatry, fornication. You're actually leaving the truth, which is being preached on these streets by the Israelites, to go be a whore, man. And that's literally, you're whoring around if you're following Christmas or Thanksgiving, or you're doing Holy Communion at the Catholic Church. There's not one scripture in the Bible that you can find where Yahweh Shai is doing Holy Communion. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, one of my mom's, another kid older for me. But I got a brother and half brother, whatever. But anyways,
is he your
no. Just that's why I said whatever. Half brother. He's not even my brother. I tell my mom that's whatever. But at the end of the day, when I used to be in the Christian church, I used to tell them how they were going off in the Catholic ways, this and that. But then I got out of the Christian church. Now, he used to go in there. Now he doesn't. About 2 months ago, I went to his house. Now he's building this small little altar and everything for his wife's Virgin Marys and all this stuff and everything.
That's a perfect example of being a whore to this truth, and he's taking on that strange doctrine, strong drink. It's a strong drink because when you drink alcohol, strong liquor, what happens? It changes your mindset. It changes your characteristic. You know what I mean? It changes your mind. So the same thing in the same fashion. That's how these false doctrines are. They're going to change up on you, man. You're over here, studying with the Hebrew Israelites, and then you go off and you start building altars and counters for your woman to put her Virgin Marys on. That's a whore. Yahweh's going to save a missile for that person You know?
Let me get this precept right.
Con.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Con. And you know, Christians, what do they teach? The only thing a Christian thinks fornication is dealing with sex before marriage. But if the brother, you want to bring that out again real quick?
Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
So there you go. Spiritual fornication was those idols, that idolatry. You know, that's fornication. That's how you know you're being untrue to the one living power. You know, you're a whore in his eyes. You know? Just like these women, they say that's a parable, that whore, because if a woman who's married and goes out and gets chopped by another man, well, she's a whore. You know, same thing.
Yep. And the act of sex is marriage, man. So anytime you have a woman that's been with more than one man, then she's a whore. I'd say about 99.9% of Babylonian women are whores, man.
Oh yeah, they're all.
You got women that are repentant and salutations to you sisters, you few sisters that there are, but for the most part, man, we're in Babylon. So if you're gonna have the men that are polluted, you're definitely gonna have the women that are polluted.
Well, see, really, and I agree with what you're saying, but really the I would say 100% are whores, and it's because these women, they go, they don't get condemned for being the wicked in this society.
They could be 13 years old and having sex with other kids that are 13 years old in school. And there will be, as a father, there will be nothing you could do about it.
Because at that point, it's okay to put your hand on your child, because you'll be locked up in Esau's prison.
It's okay in the eyes of Esau. So these things, women have no choice but to be whores at a young age. I remember when I was in elementary school, which is from 1st to 6th, there was women that were getting popped, man. So I can only imagine today how much worse it's gotten.
Oh yeah, man. Each generation gets more wicked,
Yep. Yeah, you had girls that were trying to get pregnant in elementary school, man.
Oh, that's the spirit, though. You went right to the one I was looking for. Kings, the strange women.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna keep going on 7.
Yeah, we're gonna finish the whole chapter.
Continuing on Proverbs 7 and 5, that they might keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
And really, we're talking about doctrines right now. So what does the Christian church do? They flatter with words, don't they? Don't they tell you, hey, just come to my church. You're gonna meet all kinds of friends, and because I see on social media, like these Christian pastors are promoting their churches, and then you just can see the wicked right through these Edomites, man. They're talking about, come on in, everyone's a friend here, everyone's welcome. Well, guess what? You don't want your woman dealing with all the men of Esau's congregation. You know what I mean? They don't even know the truth. So how are they gonna, how much more wicked is that gonna be when if you take your woman to a Christian church? These guys don't know. You stay away from your woman. Esau's a vile creature. You don't know no better, man. He thinks it's righteous to be nice to your woman, flirt with her and shit.
Yeah. And it shows you that it's talking about a woman, because when you go up and it's comparing wisdom to a woman. Okay, so now it's talking about the strange woman. What's that? These other doctrines, man, these philosophies. Okay, which you also can be pulled into by messing around with a strange woman in the flesh.
Yeah.
Which really consists of the 2/3 of the nation of Israel too, man. Because two-thirds of these women is cleaving onto this image, man. Going on, it says, verse 6, for at the window of my house I looked, and through my casement.
And that word casement, because I had to look it up because I didn't know what a casement was, but it's those like wooden things that people have in their yards, like sometimes it's an extension on the fence, but you can see through them. They're shaped like diamonds, but you can see through them, the wood. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what.
It's almost like a window, is what it's.
Yeah. See, so yeah, and I never knew what it was, so I looked it up. But yeah, go ahead, brother.
No,
I just didn't know what a casement was when I read it. So go ahead.
Verse 7, it says, "And beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding."
And so the word discern means recognize, or you saw, you were able to discern it. So you recognize. In this verse, he recognizing that there was a young man void of understanding, meaning he lacked knowledge. Okay, and that's most of. I shouldn't even say most of. All of these people out here in America, in Babylon, they're void of understanding. Right? They don't know how to break down a parable. They don't understand the scriptures. And why is it? Because Yahweh's not dealing with all of these wicked ass heathen in 2/3. All right.
Yep. Going on, it says, verse 8, "Passing through the streets near her corner, and he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night."
Con. So that's just showing you it gives you an example of the twilight in the evening, right? Because when the sun goes down, that's when this place gets extra wicked, right? Because people think they're not going to be seen doing these whoredoms, Read on.
Going on, it says, verse 10, "And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart."
Con. So she had the attire of a harlot. So at first glance, when you read this, you think it's talking about an actual woman. But no, it's talking about these strange doctrines that we've been talking about, And what is a Christian church? They may build a real big, huge, nice, fancy church, and to people who drive by, that's attractive if they're, these Edomites, they're like, I think I want to go to this church. It's brand new.
That's why they give you gifts. They give you, a lot of these churches I've walked into, they'll give you a whole gift bag. And the reason why, Ecclesiastes 7:7, a gift destroyeth the heart. There was one time I took my my sons to the playground, and I think it might have been on a Sunday or something, and there was a whole bunch of commotion going on at this building. It wasn't a church, it was like a rec center or something.
Yeah.
We walked in there because they had to use the bathroom, and so we walked in there and they had all sorts of food and stuff out, and we're like, what the heck is going on in here? And we asked them, and they're like, oh yeah, and they gave me like a bag, and so I took it, and I looked through there, and there was all kinds of gift cards and things of that nature, and then at the very bottom it was a pamphlet for their church. It was a church like meeting.
That was the bait.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That was the bait. And that's what they do, But what is the true bait? The true bait is these scriptures, man, and that's why you don't see us with any gifts or any of that bullshit. The only thing we have in our hand is our sword, and the truth. So, yep.
Going on, verse 11.
I think, you're right.
"She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house."
Con, and I got a precept real quick. So yeah, these churches, they're going to be loud, right? Because what do? They preach Jesus loud and clear, right? Loud and proud. They're preaching Jesus, and what does that say? Stubborn, They're not going to hearken to the truth because the truth does not dwell with these churches, The precept I have here, you want to read that one more time, and then I'm going to read the precept?
This is Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 11. "She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house."
God, so this is dealing with like Esau's church, because Esau doesn't dwell in just his own house. No, he has to go out and touch and destroy everything, every soul, So here it is, Jeremiah 51:13. "O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Right? Here we go. The Lord of hosts hath sworn him by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. All right? And guess who those men that are like caterpillars? It's the guys you see out here preaching this truth, because we didn't hearken to these strange doctrines, these strange women, as the metaphor says in the Bible. No, we may have been exposed to it, but by the mercy of Yahweh, he give us the real truth. All right, and that's just a beautiful verse. When I read that today, I've read this verse before, but I had to read it again, and I'm going to read it again. I'm going to go to 14, Jeremiah 51:14. And the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So we're literally lifting up a shout against Esau. All right, and a caterpillar, if you don't know, they destroy a tree from the inside out. All right, so trees will die because caterpillars will take the nourishments and the nutrition of that tree, and that's what we're out here. We're condemning the beast. We're lifting up our voice, and we have a shout against Esau. You know, revealing who he really is in his time, like it says in Thessalonians. Okay, go ahead and 7 and 12.
This is going on, verse 7 and 12. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner.
So that, you see these churches popping up at every corner, man. And these churches they're destroying the nation of Israel, because our people have a heavy spell on them, you know, through all the witchcrafts of Babylon, and they don't understand that these churches are taking them to the grave, destructive.
Yep. Let me get a quick precept, brother.
As many as you want, brother.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 8, and I'm going to read verse 16. It says, after I am come into mine house, I will repose myself with her, for her conversation hath no bitterness. All right, and we're going to see who the her is it's talking about. It says, and to live with her hath no sorrows, but mirth and joy, because it sounds like he's talking about a woman. Let me go up to verse 2. It says, I loved her and sought her out. From my youth I desired to make her my spouse. What's that mean? His wife. So it sounds like a woman's being talked about. It says, and I was a lover of her beauty, right? Of her beauty, making it sound like a badass, beautiful woman. And let me go up to verse 1. It says, wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doeth she. Now what's the she? The noun within this sentence is wisdom. Okay, the she.
And and I don't mean to interrupt, but it's funny to me because I'm still have some social media, and you see women, they'll post a verse dealing with wisdom, and they pertain it to themselves. They think that they'll post like what you just read as if it's talking about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These women they lack the
They'll get that
understanding.
tattooed on them.
Got it. They lack the understanding that hey, Yahweh's not dealing with your sorry ass, or ass. He's dealing with wisdom, man. That's what he's talking about. He ain't talking, or he's talking about in Jerusalem. Sometimes it's personified as a woman, in the scripts. But these women, they're haughty and they're prideful. So they take ownership of those verses, thinking it's talking about them. Like, hell no. No, because what did the King Solomon say? He met one man in 1,000 that he was able to respect, that could understand this truth. But he said he didn't find one woman out of 1,000.
Yep. We're going on. It says, sweetly doeth she order all things. I loved her, going on, and sought her out. From my youth I desired to make her my spouse. So you see, he was talking about wisdom, man. Wisdom is oftenly referred to as a woman within these scriptures, man. All right?
God, it's personified as a woman, man, and it's talking about he searched her from his youth. And one of the things that when us men in the truth, we've gotten together and had our conversations, and we realize that we've all been searching for this truth since our youth,
Yep. Going back on Proverbs 7 and picking it up on verse 13. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent now remember, this one's the strange woman. Okay. All right. So this is those strange doctrines like Christianity, Mormonism, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism. Okay. All these are just strange women, man, sitting there lurking and waiting to defile you.
And the way Elder Tahar put it, like in that script with Dave Chappelle, with Rick James, he's saying cocaine is a hell of a drug. Well, that's what Tahar, he said, hey, Christianity is a hell of a drug, man. It's got you in a spell. It's got our people in darkness, man.
All you gotta do is open the book and read, man.
God.
Going on, verse 14. I have peace offerings with me. All right, this is what she's saying. I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. It says, therefore come I forth to meet thee diligently, to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have
God, with fine linen of Egypt, right? So that's showing you right there that that's a strange doctrine, because our power is not a God. He wasn't a God of Egypt, right? He actually delivered our people from Egypt. So those fine linens from Egypt, showing you that that's that strange doctrine, man. And what is America? Spiritual Egypt.
Oh man, that's the spirit I'm holding on.
Khan. So America is spiritual Egypt. The brother's about to bring that out.
Khan. This is Revelation 11. And it's a lot of Listen to that page.
Oh yeah.
This is Revelation 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Khan and Yahweh Shai, he's not taught as the Messiah here, right? It's instead it's this bozo, you know. Jesus Christ is the way they crucified him. You know what I mean? Here in Babylon, and the dead bodies lying in the street. Well, that deals with the day of wrath. There's going to be a lot of death in these streets in Babylon. You know, it's spiritually. It's not. We're not literally in Egypt and Sodom. No, we're spiritually. You know, and they declare it on their dollar bill. You know, they declare it on their street signs. You know, even this part in the back, you can't see because that guy's in the way. But there's an obelisk, a miniature obelisk. And where can you find that? One of those in Egypt, and also in Washington D.C. Because we know this place is spiritually Egypt, which means bondage. Right? The Greek word for bondage is Egypt. You know, Israel has been in captivity through these same wicked doctrines. You know.
Hold on, Proverbs 7 and verse 17. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon.
God. So that's just more vanity, right? Because these Christian churches, like I say, you may walk into one of these churches and these people are like, they're in awe of how nice they are. You know what I mean? But they're not in awe of the men of the truth. Instead, they rather mock you and scoff at us. You know, we're not wearing suits. You know, we're not driving the Beamer to church. You know, instead you see that in these Christian doctrines.
Let me get this. This is Sirach 11 and 3. Actually, I'll go to verse 2. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. The bee is little among such as fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. Boast not thy clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor. For the works of Yahweh are wonderful, and his works among men are hidden.
God, and what a Christian will get out of that verse is they'll say, oh, hey, come as you are, you know, wear whatever. But they don't say, hey, wear your garments when you teach, you know, with the fringes. No, they'll say, come as you are. You can even walk up to a Christian right now and say, hey, you know that verse that says, come as you are? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I know that verse. And guess what? That ain't even a fucking verse. That's just some shit that they made up. You know what I mean? It's literally not a verse. But these Christians will tell you they know that verse. Try it out. Watch. Go tell these dumbed down Christians. It's kind of funny, you know, when you do it. They fail they err at the scriptures, man.
Yeah, that was like the guy. There was a pastor that was out teaching, and he had a woman speaking. And so I had said something, and he ran up and started pulling. Well, he didn't even pull out any scriptures. He was just like saying things, And I so I started pulling out some precepts, and it was cutting him up.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, I'll be fine when my rapture comes and saves me. And so so then I was breaking down, there ain't no the Spirit was breaking down, there ain't no rapture, pre-tribulation rapture. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, and he was quoting the book of Thessalonians, where it's referring to the those that rest now, are going to come back on the chariots. He was referring to that. I knew what he was talking about. So yeah, so I jumped to it, and I was like, all right, well I'll just get to the main point, and I was starting with verse 17 or something, and he's like, no, jump up to verse 2. And I was like, and I knew it was because he was trying to flex, like he knew what chapter it was, but he did, just kind of like I did. I don't remember off the top of my head. I just said, it was, in the book of Thessalonians. But yeah, he just said, and I was like, oh, you're talking about Thessalonians. So I grabbed it, and he was trying to kind of flex that, like he knew what it was. So then I started reading it, and it wasn't talking anything about where you could get, a rapture out of it. So
and you can't even find that word rapture in the Bible.
God.
The term, the idea is there. But not the word is nowhere to be found. That's more shit that these Christians, they just make shit up, man. And our people are so dumb because they don't read, so they fall into that shit. You know what I mean?
And this guy was bald head, bald face. So right away you knew, but yeah, so I told him, after I started reading, I was like, you want me to just jump down to the main point? He was like, yeah, go ahead.
And he was an Edom,
right? No, he was a Jake.
Oh, okay.
So I started reading, the verse, and it was saying, when he shall come down with the mighty trump, then the dead shall raise first. So I was like, okay, well, if you teach that you die and go straight to the kingdom of heaven, who is it referring to? And he's like, oh well. He's like, what? Not all things are meant for us to know.
You had him confounded.
Yeah, he's like, not all things are meant for us to know. And I'm like, man, he revealed the secret to the saints. And, I just walked away, man. But yeah, just showing, just like what you were talking about. He's trying to flex and act like he knew this chapter and verse.
Yeah.
But he couldn't even, which is fine. Just just say I think it's in the Thessalonians or whatever the case may have been. But
yeah,
anybody could remember scriptures, man. But only the those that are called could break them down.
Only those that are called can break those parables down, man. And I'm gonna just because of something you said, I'm gonna bring out this precept. This is Revelation 1:3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So if you're not reading, man, you're not going to be blessed. That's why the elders are always telling us, be diligent, man. Put your videos out, man. Because you know what? When I came into this truth, I was learning under IUIC for like the first 2 years, And yeah, sure, I was actually on fire, and I couldn't. I was watching their videos every single day, But one thing I wasn't doing, and I wasn't reading a lot. You know what I mean? And I wasn't looking up words. I wasn't making videos. And then when I got with GMS, and I remember at first I was like, oh man, I got to do videos, And I was nervous about it. But the Spirit carries you, man. So you brothers out there that are haven't gotten that point, take it. Go do a video, man, and you're gonna build your knowledge and your understanding every time you do one, man. And pretty soon you're gonna get to a point where you look forward to doing a video, man. And that's the spirit we need to be in right now. We need to be on fire.
Let me just finish off these last two verses. Verse 5. It says, many kings have sit down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of hath worn the crown. So, showing you've had kings who have ruled entire regions, man, ruled entire nations, had great kingdoms, but yet you can't. Not all of their names are recorded, man. Okay, so these guys that were exalted have been made a base. They've been forgotten. Going on, verse 6, it says, many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. Right. So, just showing you, man, that it ain't about an outward appearance, which is what you would receive with one of these strange women. You know, with one of these strange doctrines, with one of these churches. Whether it's a Edomite wearing a suit and tie, or you know, or a Jake.
His wife's got a big old rock on her finger, you know what I mean?
Yep,
Flashy diamonds around her neck, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that these Christians, they'll submit to that, you know, but they won't submit to the truth. They won't submit to the bitterness, you know, of the truth. They just want the sweet side, you know? That's what the Christian is. They're only sweet. They don't go sweet and bitter. Because remember, Proverbs 11:1. Can you pull that out?
It's kind of like your lecture, how you were first starting off, that, you know, a lot of these women are whores. They're like, they see a guy with flashing money, this and that, they run after him, trying to be with him, you know. The same thing, you know, it's like the two-thirds, they see, oh, this pastor, this church, look at this church, they're big, they have a lot of people in their congregation, this and that. Oh, look at the pastor, he drives a good car, this and that, I need to be down with them too, you know. That's how these two-thirds are. They're just,
he's well spoken, you know what I mean? That these people, these weak two-third niggas and these heathen, they'll cleave to that wickedness, you know what I mean? But you know what, Moses, he had a hard time speaking in the Hebrew, but yet he was one of the greatest prophets, you know?
This is Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination unto Yahweh.
God, man, that's all I wanted. But the false balance, man, if all you're learning in your church is sweet, and good things, good tidings, good, you know, prosperity doctrine, you know, there's no balance to that, man. You know? But no, we men of this truth, we know that there's a bitterness that comes with this understanding. You know? John was told to swallow the entire little book, not just half of it, you know, or just the sweet part. No, it said it was sweet in his mouth, bitter in his stomach. So that's how you know these Christian churches and these Catholic churches, all these churches, you know, all these denominations, they're leading you to the grave, Israel. You know.
And it's funny, you can't have one without the other. That's what one of the elders of they were live today talking about. You know, you gotta have both. You know, one or the other. You know, it's like you want marriage and love, you gotta have both. You know, you can't have one without the other.
That's a good point, you know?
And the same.
When you get married to a woman, there's gonna be some good times, but there's also gonna be struggle. There's also gonna be days when you don't even want to be around each other.
And seeing, I think the elders and the apostles of GMS have done a wonderful job, and I think that's why we flock to them, because they teach us why we're at the lowest in our lives and our points in this society, you know, because you couldn't get that in the Christian church, you couldn't get that in the Catholic church. They could not understand. They could not teach you why you were at
the Christian church, right? Because all these people are happy and it's all phony, you know what I mean? Because when they go home, they all got demons on them, you know. But you know, like the brother's saying, you know, there's a sweet and a bitter.
Our curses, the curses we're under, you know, they can't teach you and edify you on that. Why we're cursed, they can't tell you that. They want to keep you happy and feed you that false hope.
It's a false doctrine, man. It's that strange woman we've been talking about.
Just come to church and pay your tithes.
Yeah.
And you'll be
and even and remember when we went to church, when we used to go to those churches, when everybody would put on a show, right, for everybody? Like, okay, guys, we're going to church now. We all got to act nice, be nice to people, and you know, you get in there and it's all a big phony act, you know. Then you get out in the parking lot, people are flipping you off because like you're taking, you know, leaving before them. Yeah.
I was driving the other day, and this guy the light turned green, and this guy just stayed there, and I was behind him. I was like, what the hell, man? So I got in the next lane and, you know, was driving, and this dude sped up and started chasing me. So we happened to pull up right again at another light, you know, and he pulls up next to me and rolls his window down, and he's you know, he's like, you got, and I was pissed at this point, you know, I'm trying to hold it in, you know, and this guy looks at me and he rolls his window down. He has his woman in the passenger, and he's like, oh, you need anger management. No, anger management? You're the one that just chased me down the street.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, I just looked at them, and you know, and I started throwing the curses in the Hebrew, man.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He didn't know what to say. And his woman, she reached her head over. She said, "God bless you." So they knew through the Spirit they knew they were getting cursed, and they were Christians.
Yeah.
So you just did all this, and you're supposed to be a grape juicer, man. You're the guys that come to the camp and say, "Where's the love?" But yet you never show it.
Oh yeah. They're fucking, and those. Me, I have a very short fuse with people like that. You know what I mean? And I constantly, if somebody's doing some foul shit like that, I'm like, hey, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, because when you're in this truth, you start to see it for what it is, man. Like, you start to see all these Edomites for what they are. You see all these heathen. You see even your own people being just stupid as fuck. And it's a vexation to your spirit. So us men in this truth, hey, we may get pissed off right away at some foolish shit we see,
You just gotta try to bridle the body and the tongue, man. You gotta use discernment and wisdom in everything that you do. Okay? Even when somebody's having some road rage or whatever the case might be. Okay, because you never know what. At the end of the day, man, Yahweh fights all of our battles, man. That's why I cursed, instead of getting out of the car, which I wanted to get out of the car. I just called upon the Most High, man.
God.
And through the Spirit, they knew that something was up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have said, "God bless you."
Yeah, and they probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they got in an argument at home that night. You know what I mean? With each other because of that curse. But you brought up the road rage. I see this girl. I don't know if you guys saw it, but this girl in Colorado, I believe, she got her face shot in road rage. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, there was another one in Colorado where a dude chased down a family, blasted the kids and
that was
the dad
like a couple months back. Yeah. Over there on Sure. Yeah, so you really got to be careful with all these, wicked spirits out here.
It's like I forgot what scripture it is, and I heard it in a video last night. It's talking about how we gotta be in peace with ourselves and be in peace with mankind, even though we know who they are. Because at the end of the day, we gotta, revenge is not for us. It's it's for Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai.
So if when Elder Apostle Tahar got called, and so everybody who wasn't, because I know I was probably doing some nigga shit. Actually, I wasn't even born, but when he got called, and everybody else after that was to be put to death, and that wouldn't, it wasn't time, man. Just like right now, there might be somebody who is getting ready to be called tomorrow, or by watching this video, who may have walked past the camp a week ago, and we might have jumped across the line, and whatever, which we don't do that, but just showing you, man, you gotta just remember that we were under the same vibration, man.
God.
Yeah, we have the same shit going on. I think why do Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that I didn't walk past the camp when I was in my coonery, man.
God.
So who knows how you would have took it? I mean, through the Spirit, you probably would have received it, but.
Right. God. Well, yeah, because it's all ordained. So, yeah.
Well, verse 18, it says, "Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loaves."
Love. And yeah, solace means comfort. So, let's comfort ourselves with loves. And what does the Christian church do, man? They say, even the ones that come to camp, they say, guys, it's about love, man. Love. But then they, like the brother said, they can't explain their wickedness when they're done with their little phony act. And like when Yahweh Shai was crucified, where was the love? When the Israelites were brought into slavery on ships, and I'm actually going to bring that out because that deals with Egypt too. We talked about it earlier. But where was the love? We'll bring this out just because we were talking about Egypt and America being spiritual.
Where's the love now, even to now, that they talk about it? Look at their leader, chief in command.
Yeah.
How does he talk about our people? How do the police officers see us? How do they treat us? Do they treat us with love?
God.
What's their love? Their love is keeping us down, killing us.
Oh, come on, man. My boss loves me. Wait till you fuck up. We'll see how much he loves you.
God. And Pharaoh Trump, he's doing exactly what Yahweh called him to do, and that's divide the nations. He's dividing this nation. And it's so much to the point where these they're talking about the impeachment stuff, and I saw this guy make a post on social media, and he said, "Hey, I was reading." He said he was watching the YouTube live of the impeachment talks or whatever, and he was saying how, man, he's a Jake, but he was saying, "Hey, you guys don't want President Trump to be impeached because some of the comments of these Edomites were making were literally like fatal, and talking about how they're going to start shooting people in the street, because they got hate, man." And that's what Trump's doing. He's dividing this nation even more to where, hey, these prophecies are going to be fulfilled.
That'll probably make prophecies come to pass faster. And that's a good thing for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Shit. Let me just bring out this quick precept on Egypt and our people. This is Deuteronomy. We haven't brought this out in a while. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? And why did we go on ships, man, in Egypt? I'm sorry, in America. And then why were we in captivity in Egypt? It's because of what we're talking to today. Our people went on to strange doctrines. They became whores. They left the true power. They hearkened not unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem. Alright? The Kakodash. God, which one is that? Oh, yeah. Getting closer.
This is going on Proverbs 7 and verse 19. For the good man is not at home, he is gone on a long journey. he hath taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. So let's remember that, like it's showing you, it's comparing this as though the man is gone, showing you the process of adultery, which is what you commit when you're messing around with these strange gods, man, these strange doctrines. And to the point where it's breaking the analogy down to the point where the man's gone. Hurry up and come in here. We could do what we got to do. And you got to remember that man in this scripture would be Yahweh, man.
God.
Okay? And it's the spirit. Because now, I wasn't really sure what to go in for at camp, but through the spirit, I know where I'm going now, man. So let's remember that. Keep that in mind. Yahweh is the man, and us, the Israelites, were messing around with all these strange doctrines, man. As though that same process is being committed. Oh, the Most High ain't seeing. Let's go jump. But the Most High sees everything, man. All the times you done bowed to a Buddha, all the times you done threw some change at the statues. All right, all the times you burnt those saint candles. A lot of us have done some things like that.
All your spiritual whoredom and fornication, man.
Yeah, when I was 5 years old, man, I was a physical virgin, but a spiritual fucking harlot, man. It's a lot from the language, but it's true, man. A lot of us were just brought up in all this foolishness. I remember they had this statue in the woods over here called Mother Cabrini's. You have to walk with it like 1,000 steps. You'd have to climb up this mountain, and at the top you have a big, either a Cesare or something. You have this guy standing up there, man. You have holy water on tap. You have a whole cave full of saint candles. Just all sorts of wickedness, man. But I remember going there as a kid and thinking that was the place to, you felt
holy.
good. Like, oh man, I'm gonna drink some of this water this Edomite put his hands in.
And then for me it was, because I've been to the place he's talking about, but I even at that time I didn't really think nothing of it. Not because I knew any better, but I just remember I didn't. But yeah, for me, going to, there's a church in New Mexico called Santuario, and it's a Catholic church, and they say that there's holy ground over there, you know what I mean? And it's just more whoredom and false doctrine, strange women, and basically, that place is renowned by Southern Kingdom, you know, because Southern Kingdom Israel visits that thing all the time, man. And now that they come back with T-shirts, and it's like a tourist place, you know. But it's at the end, now that we know this truth, hey, it's nothing but leading you to the grave, man. It's useless, you know. And then that verse 20 that he read, I'm going to read it again real quick. It says, he hath taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. And because when Yahweh visits the earth and Yahweh Shai visits the earth, you know, there's going to be, after the destruction, after the men are delivered, you know, you're going to receive a great reward. You're going to receive your crown, man, if you're part of that number, you know. So, Con, we'll read down to 27.
Con. This is going on. Verse
21. Yeah, you know.
Proverbs 7 and 21. With much fire, selected with much fiery speech.
Fair.
Oh, con.
Yeah, that's all right.
With much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
Con. And that word is forced. It goes back to thrust. Or, you know, if somebody forces you to do something, you know, it's against your will, you know. And literally, that, if we go back, the person that Yahweh was using in this parable was naive, and it said void of understanding earlier, you know. So if you don't have no understanding, then you're going to be led right to the grave with that, man. You're going to be led right to whoredom, you know. But the men who are diligent in this truth and are understanding these scriptures, these parables, we're able to discern that. We're able to recognize, like, hey, man, you know, I ain't fucking with no Catholic church. I ain't fucking with no Christian church, you know. You ain't gonna dumb me down no more, you know. You can't oppress us no more. Here, these men at this camp. If a Christian pastor walked up right now and tried to enlighten us with his doctrine, well, hey, we're gonna cut him up with the sword, you know, because you can't oppress us no more, Esau, you know.
And I got a quick precept because what did it say with much fair speech? All right. Oh man, you come in as you want. You could be homosexual. He said, "He without sin cast the first stone. You're forgiven." But the thing is when that had happened, he said, "Go and sin no more." He didn't tell her go and be do whatever you want still. Go and be a harlot still. No, he said, "Go and sin no more, man." So showing you the act of repentance. Because we have Yahweh Shai, you're able to repent. That doesn't mean go and do whatever the hell you want and you'll be forgiven. All right, this is those flattering words. You could do whatever you want. You wanna have sex with married women? Go ahead. And of course, your flesh wants that, man. Your flesh, oh man, I want to do this. I want to do that. God. I want to be sipping on drink all day long. Just doing the most, but see the spirit goes against it, man. Right? Wow. And but anyway,
you know, when we were in our coonery in our younger days, even if we were allowing ourselves to commit those fornications, you know, at the end of the day, we have a conscience, and you may wake up the next day like, oh my damn, the hell did I do?
Then you go to church and the pastor
you go to church,
okay, brother? Yeah. No, go do it again. You're like, okay. God. Well, that's easy. God. All right. You're flattering you with their lips.
They tell a pastor or a priest is from Catholic church, oh hey, time heals everything, man.
Yep. Don't be afraid of the end times. You know, before I read this real quick, my woman's aunt went to some kind of, you know, because there's a lot of grape juicers, you know, on that side. They went to some like thing in some kind of retreat for like Christian women or whatever. But when they were up there, there was a woman who she was pregnant, but she lost the baby, and she was crying. She was like, "Oh man, the Most High's afflicting me." And they're like, "What? No, he's not." And she was like, "Yeah, I had an abortion in my youth, and now he's afflicting me." And that's exactly what was happening, man. She was getting judged for it. But you see all those women. Oh no, God wouldn't do that. Those flattering lips, man. But this is Ezekiel 13 and 10. Because they have seduced my people. How? With flattering words. It says peace. Yep. Saying peace, and there is no peace. There ain't no rapture coming. No pre-tribulation rapture, man. There ain't no peace coming to America, man. There's only death and destruction and famine. All right? And 200 million ICBMs coming to America, man.
The modern plagues.
Yep. There ain't no peace coming to this place, man. And if you got a bomb shelter, then there sure as hell still ain't no peace coming to you. You know what's coming to you is 144,000 elect men to hunt you down and put you straight into slavery where you belong, man.
Yep. I always think of that movie Brightburn now. Those spiritual powers that are going to come on the elect, you know. We're going to become hunters. Right now we're fishermen, you know. Right now we come in peace, you know. In the same fashion, Yahweh Shai comes back with the sword. And guess what? So are his men.
Yep. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. So, if you know anything about, building, building, masonry, concrete work, whatever the case might be, it has to be tempered, man. And the way that they do it today, they have a big vibrating machine, and they put that inside of the concrete, gets all the air bubbles out. You see all this concrete here. You don't see many air bubbles because they tempered it. But if they didn't, that's when you see the concrete that's all chipped up and falling apart. So if you build a whole wall that way, that wall is gonna come down, man. Once one little gust of wind comes down, the whole wall's coming down. That's what you have. Christianity is an untempered wall, man. And when judgment comes, that wall is gonna tear the hell down, man. And for you Israelites who are listening to somebody who's telling you that there ain't no Jacob's trouble, that's the same thing, man. When that wind comes, a lot of people haven't even seen death in the flesh, man. All right, but how much more? I mean, a lot of people haven't even seen somebody get shot. When somebody gets shot in the head, their whole face deforms, man. Their eyeballs pop out of their sockets. They look like a totally different person. It's disgusting.
Gruesome.
Yeah, gruesome. So when that shit's happening right in front of you, to people you know and love, people are that wall is coming down, man.
You don't have a foundation. You build your house on shaky ground, on sand,
untempered mortar,
or untempered mortar. Hey, you're gonna succumb to that fucking the wrath of Yahweh.
Verse 11 it says, "Saying to them which dabbed it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing." For all you who are bowing down to this thing, man. All you Jakes that got this in your house. All you Jakes that are jumping into this Halloween spirit. Okay, it says, that it shall fall, there shall be an overflowing shower, and ye, O great hailstones, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rent it. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherewith ye have daubed it?
God.
Therefore, they've been telling their Christian pastor, I thought Jesus loved everybody. I thought we were going to be saved before this happened. How is the mark of the beast out? I thought we were going to be raptured by now.
And through the Spirit, that hailstorm, hail, fire, and brimstone, in the Apocrypha, it tells you that that's all a spirit of vengeance of Yahweh. You know what I mean? So, a couple weeks ago, I was coming home from work and I saw a bunch of smoke, and there was a house on fire close to my neighborhood, and it extended out to the field behind the house. They had all kinds of ambulances and fire trucks, trying to put out that fire. And a brother like me sees that, and we're like, oh, this is a small sample of that fire that's coming to America. And that's what it is. It's a spirit of vengeance. It's Yahweh's vengeance, man. You got to purify this wicked earth with fire.
That's exactly what it is, man. It's going to tear all these untempered walls straight down to nothing, man, to dust. All right, to smoke. Let me go ahead and just finish off these last couple of verses. It says, "Therefore," verse 13, "thus saith Yahweh power, I will even rent it with a stormy wind." Does that sound like something that this Fruit Loop would be doing? Tearing it down with a stormy wind? No,
he speaks soft words. And
that's a flattering tongue. That's why it got that tongue.
God.
That's a flattering tongue, man.
God. This guy right here speaks flattering words, and he speaks soft words in the ears of the Israelites and the heathen. Yep. He doesn't bring no bitterness. There's no bitterness with this guy. All it is prosperity. And they say he died for you, and you can go be a fool. You go act a fool out there, and you don't have to worry about the law. This guy right here is a strange doctrine.
Right? Strange woman, man. Looks like a woman too. And that's the thing. That's the shame of that hair too. You see from far away, all the way up that hill, some dude with long hair like this from behind might look like a woman.
Confusion. You would have a man lusting after a man.
I was with my cousin one time, and he's like, "Oh man, look at that!" I turned around, it was a dude.
Yeah, that's that confusion, man, and you're putting that, that confusion on another man, and that's an abomination, man.
Yep. It says, "And there shall be an overflowing shower in mine anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it." What's that sound like, man? The ICBMs. 200 million nuclear missiles are coming to America, man.
Fine.
All right?
Fine.
And if you're in the Christian church, man, it got your name on it.
Yep.
Going on,
You
it says,
deserve a missile if you're in the Christian church in 2019, With all the tools and the technology that we have to understand this truth, it's all right there, man. We all have computers in our hands, There's no excuse.
Going back on that verse 21, Proverbs 7. With much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. Right, talking about this woman right here. Look at them flattering lips, man. Right, standing there speaking words to flatter you. Oh, everybody's welcome. Esau's welcome here. Going on, it says, he goeth after her straight way, as an ox goeth to the slaughter. These dudes right here too, man. Same thing. You see, history, Esau's always done this to us, man.
As an ox goeth to the slaughter, man. So, that's what these Christian churches are doing, man, and these Catholic churches, all these churches in America, they're literally leading Israel to the slaughter, all right? Because you got this strange doctrine that's a stronghold on you, and you can't even, when you come across this truth, and the brothers are teaching you some parables, teaching you some precepts, and you don't accept it. Instead, you reject it. And it's because you've been tainted by that witchcraft and that sorcery that Esau has given you in his churches. And let me just bring this out real quick, because you were talking about the flattering words. This goes back into history when the Edomites first began to rule on the planet Earth. This is 1 Maccabees. Chapter 1 and verse 30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given credence, he fell suddenly upon the city, and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. All right? And this is right after the Israelites who were wicked, the 2/3, had said, hey, let's make a covenant with the heathen, And then now they started going to their churches. They started going to their gymnasiums. Back in those days, they used to exercise naked. Matter of fact, that's what the word gymnasium means. If you look it up, it means to exercise naked in the nude,
Yeah,
so
wrestling. That's why they still wear them little leotards, the singlet.
Goes back to the Greek Olympics,
And I remember I trained for wrestling when I was in high school, and that was one of the things that kind of kept me from it.
You didn't want to do it. You were like, wait a minute, I don't want to wear that shirt.
Yeah, this is.
I know. Yeah, and one of my friends.
And I love wrestling, man.
Yeah.
Jake's naturally just good at wrestling.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We're the best athletes, man. But you got. I remember this girl I know. Her nephew won the state title here in Colorado recently. And I remember seeing the picture she posted, and the guy's over there with his little tight ass, outfit, and it's funny, man. It's actually laughable. You know what I mean? I'm glad I never became a wrestler, because the wrestling coach wanted me to do that. I played football.
Okay.
He was like, "Come on and play and come wrestle." And it was right after football, and I was like, I already was tired of practicing with football, so I was like, I don't want to do no wrestling. But
Nope.
Go ahead and finish that off on that.
Going on, Proverbs 7 and verse 23. Till a dart strike through her liver. That's what you're gonna see, man. All right. Till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird, and what it's talking about is those that are following those false doctrines, man. All right, this is what's going to happen to you if you're bowing down to this white Christ, man.
God, this is the consequence now.
Yep.
We're going into the consequence of those false doctrines.
Yep.
The strange women. Go ahead.
It says, as a bird hasteth to the snare, to the trap, and knoweth not that it is for his life.
Yeah, these fucking people in these churches, they don't know that they're going to pay the ultimate, they're going to pay for what they're doing. You know, they don't realize that the Christian church is going to take them to they want to be saved, but in the Christian church, they're going to get destroyed.
All you that bow down to any sort of image,
God.
you're going to have to stand before the Most High, man.
And rightfully so, because as we brought out earlier, we're living in a time where you have a computer in your hand. You should already know that Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You should already know that the Christian church is nothing but wickedness and lies and deceit. You know, they're speaking peaceable words in the ears of our people. And then just like this, in this case, it said that he fell suddenly upon them with the sword. Well, this is going to be Yahweh this time, following on you with the sword for you believing all that bullshit, and you being in that stronghold and that snare, you know. You don't know your life is what's at risk right here, you know. The men of the truth, that's what we're doing out here. We're literally sighing and crying every week and praying, meaning begging, that we're part of that number that's going to get saved.
And Christianity makes it seem like they'll tell you, oh yeah, the sword that comes out of his mouth is just the word. Or like, well, if you read the word, it tells you he's bringing destruction, fire.
Yeah. They
So
don't want to deal with the bitter, you know. They don't want to talk about that because why? Because if you start giving them the truth in those churches, then those people are not going to be giving them tithes, you know. They're not going to be they're not going to be filling the pastor's pockets, you know. You know those pastors, man, they're so laid back in these churches, like they're walking around like nowadays, you know, because the Catholics, at least they wear garments, you know what I'm saying? These Christian pastors now, they're laid back, man. Like, you even hear people, oh, my pastor's so cool, man.
Oh,
you know? He's such a cool guy. He listens to the Eagles, you know.
I remember being at one in their opening song was Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
This guy was like, "You were told you were coming to church today, and you got Led Zeppelin." And it was like, "Oh!" Screaming it.
Yeah. Like when I was in darkness, I went. My sister invited me to a Christian church, and I went there, and I didn't even know the truth, but I was like, this place is fucking whack. So it rubbed me the wrong way from the jump. You know, I got in there, and the guy was bald-headed, freaking no beard. You know what I mean? He's sitting there like, and then he goes on to say, yeah. If Jesus had an iPod, I'm pretty sure he'd have the Eagles in it, you know. And I remember that always stuck with me. Like,
you know, there were certain times I used to be in a Christian church and I used to feel embarrassed because of the stuff they were doing, and I didn't know why I felt embarrassed. Now I understand why, but
I always felt like the outcast. Like weird, and everybody's looking at you. Where are you pointing?
Christianity is death, man.
Yep.
Jesus Christ is death.
It's all death.
No, the so-called white man is dead.
So-called white man brings the death.
Because who set up this image, man? Was this the so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American? Was this so-called Chinese? Was it so-called African? No, it's the goddamn white man, man. That's why he's gonna die by 200 million thermonuclear missiles, man. The white man's future is death, man. According to the prophecies in the Bible, the white man's future is slavery and death.
That's right. See, and that's just an atheist walking by. He doesn't care if you insult even this fake image, you know. But he's an atheist. He doesn't have a faith towards the Most High Yahweh, you know.
And that's the way of the world now, man. Because you go back 50 years ago, every single house, back in the Leave It to Beaver times, every single house was a God-fearing house. Or God-fearing.
They were off, but their intentions were God-fearing.
Yeah, everybody was praising this image in that day. You know. But now it's to a point where most people don't even consent to Christianity, man. And so what is Christianity doing? They're allowing they're allowing in homosexuals. They're coming up and trying to stir stuff up with the truth, man. That's why they're getting vocab below and all these different guys pop up that their only sole objective is to scoff and make false accusations against us, man. Right? Talking about, oh, you're rapists.
And what happens?
Come on, you think anybody on this line is raping anybody, man? How are we walking around free?
And what happens is when they go into all that, when they get edified by the men of the truth, then they go pick up their Bibles and they start seeing the truth. They don't hold it like we do.
Yeah, it starts to terrify them.
They can't sleep at night. They can't sleep because this truth torments the shit out of them. That's crossing through their mind. What if those guys are right? What if I am the devil? What if my bloodline goes back to Esau? You know what I mean? And it torments them. And you know what? Esau he declares who he is by his actions, by his. And I'm talking about just your regular Edomite that works with you, or that you may know from your neighborhood or whatever. They eventually you'll see that those characteristics of these devils, man. They all have it.
Call them out, man.
And some of the these 2/3 and even some of these Edomites, they it's only been 2 days, but they think the Most High is he's lax and he's not coming back, whatever, this is
1,000 years you're referring to.
Yeah. And
1 day with the Lord.
Khan, and they think everybody thinks that this is our resting place. They're already content and they don't want to leave this.
They don't want to leave.
They're happy where they're at.
Esau gives them just enough to be Esau gives them just enough to be content and solace in their homes. They're comfortable in just what the little that Esau gives them. Esau ain't never gonna turn over the power to Jake. You know what I mean? not without the sword, not without Yahweh Shai. So let's finish off here.
Going on, Proverbs 7 and verse 24. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend, as we just went through all this spiritual fornication. It says, and attend to the words of my mouth.
And I got a quick precept for that mouth verse. You want to bring that out one more time while I find this?
Proverbs 7 and 24. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth.
Okay, so he said, hearken and listen, meaning listen to the words that the prophets who are us bringing out his truth. And why is that? He said, let me figure that out. O ye children, which is actually sons, O ye sons, and attend to the words of my mouth. So let's find out who his mouth is, right? This is Jeremiah 1 and 9. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. Right? Because us brothers out here, we're not giving you our own opinions or our own, what we think or what we were taught in the Christian church. No, we're bringing out the truth. We're reading the Bible.
And even Yahweh Shai, that's why I said this gospel is not my gospel. This is the gospel of Yahweh, man.
This is not our gospel, man. This is Yahweh's words, man. We are the mouth of Yahweh.
Just
right?
like when you watch 300 and you have that messenger go up that gets killed in the beginning. Why didn't King Leonidas go and deliver the message? Because he's a king.
Right.
He was too busy reigning, sitting on his throne, right? So he sent his messenger, which was what? You're disposable, man. Just like we are. We're disposable. Just because you've been called don't mean you're chosen, man.
And then, yeah, but that's what it is, man. Us men of GMS, we're literally the mouth of Yahweh, right? He's putting his words in our mouth. Okay, just like he did with Jeremiah. Because the prophets are subject to the prophets. Right? Where are we at? I'm 25. Keep going? Yeah, finish just up to 27.
This is Proverbs 7:25, let not thine heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths.
Kind. I mean, stay away from those strange doctrines, those strange women, man. You know, don't be like the forefather Solomon and, you know, take on a heathen woman and then pretty soon you're in her Christian church trying to please her instead of pleasing the Most High. You know?
Going on, it says, for she hath cast down many wounded, yeah, many strong men have been slain by her.
Because you know, you have, it may be a physically strong Israelite, it may be a, you know, he may be strong in his mind, but yet he's putting his investment in the wrong area, you know? Because how many, you see a lot of, you know, our people stuck in the stronghold, you know? And it's heavy on them, man. To the point where they'll argue with you in the street and maybe even become carnal and want to fight you, you know?
Her house is the way to hell. And that word hell right there goes into the word Sheol, which means the grave.
Right.
So her house is the way to death, man. Her house is the way to the grave. And who's that her once again? The false doctrines, man. This woman right here being one of them, man. Right? So when you go to your church building, man, that's a pathway straight to hell, man. It says going down to the chambers of death. You see, to the chambers of what? The 7 circles of hell, where Satan's sitting down there with the trident, getting ready to poke you day and night and throw pineapples at you. No, it says
like, yeah, it reminds me of that song, you know, what's that rock song, The Highway to Hell?
Yeah,
that's what it is. The church is literally a highway to hell. Yep. You see what I'm saying?
So it started going through my head when I see people walking in the church.
God.
It says, oh yeah, that was it.
God, that's it on that. And then just a couple more precepts. Can you grab Isaiah 5 and I think Isaiah 5. I think it's 11. 5 and 11. Yep.
This is Isaiah 5 and 11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
God. So they wake up early to be a wicked heathen, you know, to go to church in a Christian church, man. Not knowing that they're on the highway to hell. Go ahead, brother.
It says, going on verse 12, and the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe and wine are in their feasts, but they regard not the work of Yahweh, neither consider the portion of his hands.
God, they don't consider the truth, man. They don't consider Yahweh's true words. They don't consider that his prophets have his words in their mouths. No, instead they think we're crazy men. They think we're evil and wicked because we're condemning their oppressor, even our own people. You know, they get mad when you talk shit about Esau. You know, they get mad. They don't like that thing. Just go up to I think 15 and then jump down to 20 on that Isaiah 5.
Come. Let's go on verse 13. Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge.
Right. And that's what we brought out earlier. We talked about going into ships into Egypt this time. And this is what happened. We went into captivity because we went off from the true power. Our people were calling themselves Moors, you know, in Europe. They were calling themselves Africans, you know. They're still calling themselves Africans, you know. I met a Nigerian, a guy who's from the so-called Nigeria, you know, and he started, you know, I ministered to him, and he started talking about like how he loves the truth and this and that. But then at the end of the day, he's got so much African pride that he's not going to be able to change from Jacob to Israel, you know. He's going to stay at Jake, you know, because he's built up in that African pride, you know. There's not going to be, there's not going to be no Africans taking up in those chariots in the day of wrath. There ain't going to be no Mexicans, no Latinos, no. It's Israelites only, man. It's going to be exclusive for Israel.
That's why we say so-called Negroes, Latinos, this is Proverbs. I'm going to jump back to the same chapter we're in, 7 and 7, because what did it say? It says, because they have had no knowledge. And the same guy that fell to his destruction in this analogy, that was cleaving unto different doctrines, okay? What did it say about him? It says, and Proverbs 7 and 7, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned amongst the youths a young man void of understanding. See, they don't know better, man. They don't know better, so they are easy to be sucked into this stuff, man. It's pushed on us right when we come out of the womb. Matter of fact, me being brought up as a Catholic in my childhood, I was born and baptized. So I was brought up into all that madness, man. Just like the brother said, most of us were, man.
Oh man,
we had no say in the matter.
I was an altar boy, man. For like, I don't know how many years I was an altar boy, And you know what's funny is I was always nervous to be an altar boy because every time my parents, we had a rotation back in the day, and they said, oh, this is your weekend to be the altar boy, so I'm like, I'd always get nervous because I was like, oh, I'm going to mess up the ritual. I'm going to mess up the ceremony. I'm not going to remember what to do, when to do it, you know what I mean? That was what go through my head as a kid. And why? Because Yahweh was like, hey, this ain't even for you, man. Don't even worry about this ritual. This wicked ass ritual. Now it makes sense to me. But I remember back then, I always had to be like prompted. You know what I mean? Like the priest would be like it's time to bring the bread or whatever. You know what I mean? But thank the Lord that He had mercy on me, and that never was like I said earlier. Us brothers have been exposed to these strange women, these doctrines, but we didn't hearken to them, man. And it's all the will of Yahweh. It was His mercy to give us the truth. It was His mercy to keep us away from those false, strange women, strange doctrines.
Going on, it says, Isaiah 5 and 13, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell, going back to Sheol once again, the grave, hath enlarged herself.
Because that's what those Christian churches and those Catholic churches are doing, man. They're enlarging the grave, man. The highway to hell is enlarged. Because our people are in huge darkness, just like darkness is hitting us now in the same fashion. Our people don't know shit, man. And that's why we're out here fishing for the elect. That's why we're trying to seal the elect. Lord willing, that's very soon. Because we know that as the prophecies speak, once the elect sealed, hey, we're really getting close to the end of this thing.
Going on, it says, therefore hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth,
and the pomp, that word means pride,
shall descend unto it.
God, they're going to descend into this pit of darkness, like they have on the commercial, right? The pit of misery. That's just Esau mocking the truth. Because that's where they're going, to the pit of misery. Those Bud Light commercials.
Going on verse 15, it says, and the mean man shall be brought down.
That mean man is Esau. He's going to be brought down in these last days. Yahweh Shai is going to destroy him.
Yep. This is going to get destroyed, man.
God.
And the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But Yahweh of armies shall be exalted in judgment, and the heavenly Father that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness.
Is that already 20? I think it's 20.
17.
Okay, yeah, jump down to 20. That's the one I have.
Going down to verse 20, he says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Because they call this good when it's evil. They call us evil when we're righteous for doing what we're doing, you know? But read that one more time out, because that's dealing directly with this demon right here. This is where people get offended of the nation of Israel. It's heavy on the southern kingdom, the Hispanic tribes, so-called. And obviously Esau is he's a bastard that tries to claim that he's the Messiah. Go ahead.
Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
This is darkness, but they put it as light, you know? This is pure darkness. A lot of people are in darkness, so when they actually see the light, because this is the light right here, these three men out here, you know? Esau's a motherfucker, man. And then I have one more step just to finish off my portion. This is Habakkuk 2:5. If you want to break this down, brother. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine.
Right? By putting out these different doctrines and things, man. Because when they came and they conquered us as a people and brought us into slavery and servitude, what did they bring us? They did all these works in the name of this image, man. Okay, Columbus did all his works in the name of this image. All right, slavery, baptism was put upon the southern kingdom, all in this image, man. Okay, slavery was all justified by this image here, man. All right? So he transgressed by wine, okay? And he spread this across the face of the earth, man. Go ahead, bro.
He is a proud man.
Proud. Because he set himself up as the Most High, just like he did in ancient times too. Serapis Christus. All right? All those different gods and deities are after the visage of a so-called white man. Go ahead, brother.
Neither keepeth at home.
Yep. Esau don't stay at home, man. He goes and makes your home his. And then he goes and does it to everybody else.
And that was like that whore we were talking about. Remember, it said she abideth not in her home.
Yep.
It's the same thing, man. Esau's strange doctrines. The so-called white man's strange doctrines. Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Right, his desire is hell, man. He's destroyed everything. That guy walking by earlier. Oh, read a book. Look around you, man. You Caucasoids, you Edomites have destroyed the entire planet, man. You've destroyed the entire planet because it was your desire to do so, man. It was your desire to come and take the Americas. It was your desire to put up this image. It was your desire to spray chemtrails. It was your desire to stir up global warming, all right, by all these different companies that you have putting pollutions into the air. All Esau has to do is say, you know what? Let's close these companies down. And you have all these different people fighting for global warming to stop. All Esau has to do is just call it like that. See, it ain't gonna do no good no matter how much you want to protest, man. Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, has to come down and rain fire upon this place, man. He has to cleanse this place by fire because the so-called white man has destroyed the planet Earth, man. The only solution is for it to be destroyed right along with these so-called crackers, man. Go ahead, bro.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell. This is Habakkuk 2:5. And is as death.
Yep, and is as death. So who on the planet Earth can be compared to, who as a people could be compared to his death? Who has set up this image? Who has set themselves up as the Most High in the churches?
So-called white man.
Go ahead, bro.
And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations.
Yep, cannot be satisfied. Esau will never quit, man. When will you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans get it, man? The so-called white man is your enemy. He will never quit until he's destroyed everything. It reminds me, I watched that new Lion King finally. And, you know, it might be a spoiler alert, but, you know, he comes back, when he comes back to the Pride Lands, all right, to basically what would be the kingdom, when he comes back to it,
It's all
Everything
desolate.
is destroyed. There's bones. It probably smells. Dirt, no grass, nothing living anymore, man. Underneath the reign of the wicked. And that's what's happening to the planet Earth, man. All right, everything is dying and decaying underneath the hands of the wicked, man. So the reset button has to be hit, and it has to, in order for life to flourish again, man.
And that whole
The
movie,
bees are going extinct.
yeah, that whole movie that the brothers bringing out, talking about it, Lion King, that's all based on the truth. You know, because right before he comes to the desolate kingdom, what is that monkey tell him? He says, hey, remember who you are. Remember who you are. You're a king. Yeah, yeah. Coming back to Habakkuk 2.
And what does the Christian church teach? It teaches you that there's no worries. Whoever you want. And in that movement, where they say, there's no worries. So they were under that same spell, man. And then he remembered who he was. The elect are remembering who they are, man.
God.
And the planet Earth is gonna be made to flourish, man.
God, and it also showed you in a fashion that, you know, when he was in that Hakuna Matata, no worry state of mind, he was dwelling with all of those different creatures, you know. And he was
eating abominations.
Yeah, he was eating the worms and those shelled, whatever he was eating in that log. You know, it was all abomination.
Everything the swine was eating.
God, he was hanging out with the swine. But gathereth unto him all nations. Because this white man, he puts all nations in his church. Because all he sees is green. You know, he sees the money. You know, he don't care if he's not delivering the truth. All he cares about is his pockets being built up.
And that's why they've expanded their, Christianity is the leading so-called religion, man. Because they've spread it to the four corners of the earth, man.
And heapeth unto him all people.
All people. So ain't nobody who's left out of
Christianity. God, everybody could be down with the Christian church, you know what I mean? And that's why it's so hard for these people to get this truth. Because they've been told, oh man, everybody can be a Christian. Everybody, you know, and so when we come out and tell you, hey, Esau has no repentance, the so-called white man has no repentance, and all of a sudden we look evil to them, you know? It's like we brought out earlier, good, he who makes good evil and evil good. Well, see, that's what it is, man. And if you're not diligent and you're not in these scriptures, then you're not going to be able to get past that, you know?
Go ahead, brother. Run me Isaiah, the second chapter. Okay. We're gonna go in on the same thing, right? Because we've been spiritually committing fornication, man. Just like the Book of Wisdom of Solomon. I'll grab that real quick while you're grabbing that out. The Wisdom of Solomon had stated. This is Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 14 and verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. Right, so this was the beginning of spiritual fornication, man. Okay, so there isn't just a physical form of fornication, but a spiritual form of fornication. Okay, and it's done so by worshiping these images, man. By following these strange doctrines that the so-called white man, the wicked, all right, that was compared to as death himself, has placed before you, man. In slavery and in bloodshed and in genocide, he put this image before you, and it left such a scarring mark in the forefront of your mind that it's resonated with us unto this day, man. And we're out here to tell you that ain't so, man. This image is not biblical, man. Matter of fact, it's deceptive and destructive. Okay?
Highway to hell.
Yep. Go ahead, brother. You got it?
You said chapter 2?
Con.
This is Hosea, chapter 2 and verse 1. Say ye unto your brethren, Amen, and to your sisters, Ruhama.
Right, which means what? I forgot exactly
Is that the
actual breakdown.
Is that like Ben Ammon? The Moabites? East, into the east?
No, it's
I'm not sure.
This is or the meaning of those words. will be going into my people having obtained mercy. Okay? So read that again, huh?
Say ye unto your brethren, Ami, and
Right,
to your
Ami,
sisters,
meaning my people. Go ahead.
to your sisters, Ruhama.
Right? Yep, that we'll receive mercy, because right now we haven't received mercy, man. Right? We don't even know who we are, and we've been lost, and we've been living like the heathen, worshiping the heathen, man. Go ahead, brother.
Hosea 2:2. Plead with your mother. Plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight.
Right. She is not my wife, neither am I her husband. What is it showing? The act of divorce, man. Right. When you go into Romans, the 7th chapter, right, it breaks it down as such, man. We lost that contract binding us to the Most High, which that contract was the law. Right. That contract was the agreement between Yahweh and Moses, man. But we went off and we broke the contract, and it was ripped up, man. But it's been reformed through Yahweh Shai, you see. But right here, it's talking about it being ripped up. It's talking about us having committed that spiritual fornication. What do you do if you go home, you find your woman getting a train ran on? You're gonna leave. You know, oh, fuck that. Matter of fact, you might even snap and kill everybody. All right. So we've been caught committing that spiritual fornication, man. Go ahead, bro.
Let her put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day that she was born.
Put away thine adulteries from between her breasts, man. What do you guys like to cleave unto? Your rosary. Your rosary sitting between your breasts, man. All right, your whoredoms. You got to put that shit away, man. All right, even the cross. You ain't supposed to be having no cross on. You might as well have a noose too. And a coffin. Go ahead, bro.
Get rid of your WWJD bracelets.
Yep.
What would Jesus do?
Probably tell you his real name. Go ahead, bro.
Hosea 2:3. Lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day she was born, and make her as a wilderness.
Right? Make her as in the day she was born and in the wilderness, because we ain't shit without the Most High, man. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American ain't nothing without the Most High. Look what happened to us in the time of slavery, man. Right? But you see, there's been a calling, man, and we're being called back to Yahweh through Yahweh Shai, man. Let me grab this quick precept. This is 2 Corinthians 11:2. For I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you a chaste virgin to Hamashiach. Right, he's espoused us to one husband. Who's that husband? Yahweh. There's a great marriage preparing to happen, all right, in a spiritual form, all right, being an analogy.
And he says one husband, meaning there's only one truth, man. Not like the Christians say, oh, hey, I respect all religions, you know. You have Christians saying that shit, you know. Well, hey, you're not supposed to respect all religions.
It says if there's anybody that comes to you with a different doctrine, receive him not, neither bid him Godspeed. Go ahead, bro.
This is Hosea 2:3. In the middle of the verse. And set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will have and I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms.
Right. We, the Israelites, are children of whoredoms, man. All right, children of harlots, man. Go ahead, brother.
For their mother hath played the harlot. She that conceived them hath done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, mine oil and my drink.
And what are those? Those are the strange nations. Let me Matthew 1, or no, not Matthew, Maccabees 1. First Maccabees 1, and I forget which exact verse it is, maybe around like the 15th verse, where it's talking about, you know, where we begin to consent unto the heathen, yeah.
This is First Maccabees. 1 and 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Right, let us go and be as the heathen, make a covenant with the heathen. What did it say? That she's went and taken on all her strange lovers. All right, being all these different doctrines that we've received underneath the heathen, man. Go ahead, brother.
That are round about us. Because if you look at one of those ancient biblical maps, you'll see Edom, Ishmael, all those heathen were around Israel. You know?
Yep.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Right, he was giving them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen, man. Bowing down to these images, bowing down to that image. Now go ahead and jump to 2 Maccabees 6 and 1.
This is 2 Maccabees, verse 6 and 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yahweh.
Right, to leave the laws, man. Leave the laws and follow the laws of Esau Edom. Go ahead.
And you know what? We're reading out of the Apocrypha, so Christians and most people, they can't understand, because this book was removed when, right, it should be right between the Old Testament and the New Testament. So when you go out into Gentiles and all that in the New Testament, now they're able to trick you and say, hey, these are the Gentiles. Everybody's a Gentile, you know? Everybody can be saved. But no, they took out the Apocrypha, man, for good reason in their case, you know? The Esau Edom is always trying to hide the truth, man. You want me to go to...
Go read the second verse is my main point.
This is 2 Maccabees 6 and 2. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem.
Right, the temple, which is where we would go to worship Yahweh, man. Go ahead.
And to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius.
Okay, now this is the picture of Jupiter. All right, you see the so-called white man, right? All right, now he told them to go ahead and go call this no longer the temple of Yahweh, but the temple of Jupiter. We're going to set our image as so-called white man over you, and you're going to follow our doctrines and philosophies. Look what he has in the one hand. A woman, which is representing the false doctrine, and an eagle representing Esau Edom, man. Come on now. Go ahead, brother.
Exalts himself as the eagle.
Yep. And a scepter showing rulership. Go ahead. Man.
And that in Garism of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming...
So, what did it say? The defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in that place. So not only are we going to put up our image, all right, a so-called Caucasoid, a so-called white man, an Edomite, over you as your God, but now you're going to start referring to yourself as the stranger. You see? Bashing it into your head to make you as a heathen, man. Okay, now this leads you into the mystery of the Gentiles, because this was going on in between the New and the Old Testament, the Apocrypha. So this is during the Greek captivity. When you go into the Romans, you're entering into the Roman captivity. So you see, it took this whole span of time, and you had all these Israelites that were doing this since the beginning of the Greeks coming into power. So how many Israelites did you have that were living like heathens, acting like heathens, talking like heathens, calling themselves Romans and being proud of it?
Just like America, Babylon.
Yep, yeah. Go ahead, brother, and jump. Go ahead. That's good on that. Go ahead and jump back to Hosea.
Okay. This is Hosea 2 and 5. I'm sorry, we're on 2 and 5 in the middle. For she had said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, mine oil and my drink.
Oh, I've gotten these. What did it say in 1 Maccabees 1? He said, we had peace when we're following the heathen. So he said, we've gotten our goods from the heathens. No, man, you got your goods from Yahweh, man.
And those are those same spirits that came back on the earth.
Those are the same
that
spirits
were
that are here
from
today, man.
Well, today and also before time in Egypt, when they got led into the wilderness with Moses, hey, they were complaining right away, man. They said we should have been staying in Egypt. Now they want to stay, with Greek. Now these motherfuckers want to stay with America. You know,
It's never ending. That's why the two-thirds got to die, man. You've been too polluted.
you've been a heathen your whole fucking life, and that's Esau understands this regeneration. That's why when they sentence people, they give them 40 years plus 4 life terms, because he's telling you, hey, even when you come back, you're still worthy of prison.
Well, it shows that in the book Behold a Pale Horse. Esau, that's how they got their great empire. Or for a matter of fact, and they still do it today, if you go get a home loan, it's going to take you your entire life to pay it off.
God, that's what
but you're paying double.
God.
You're paying like people say, oh, my house insurance is 5%. No, man, it's actually there's 2 different types of
Mortgages.
No, not mortgages. 2 different types of like your loan, like the balance that you have to pay off.
Oh, the equity and the
like when you buy something, they mark up the price on you if you're making payments,
Oh yeah,
so,
the interest.
Yeah, the interest rate. They'll tell you their interest rate is like 5%, 4%, 3%. But there's 2 interest rates though. There's the full time over the whole life of your loan. It's about 90% for a house. So you're paying double for a house. Is that bank going to see the banker going to see that money get all paid back in his lifetime?
Right.
Maybe when he's getting ready to die. But his kids are going to see it, and he's going to come back, and he's going to have had taken in. If he only did 3 loans, all right, then he's taking the 3rd and 4th generation. Those generations did 1 loan each. He's taking in 3 accounts of $600,000 or whatever the case may have been.
Right.
Okay, so you see, Esau knows about it, man. That's how he's always been rich throughout all of history, man.
Right. Because he keeps the wealth within his bloodline.
Yep, exactly.
And not only that word mortgage, it literally goes back to mortician, is somebody who deals with death. Well, your mortgage, you're going to pay that thing till you die. That's why, GMS, Yahweh has put us in the spirit of looking up words, man. The etymology of words is huge in understanding this truth.
Really in understanding anything. When you go by and you'll see a building has a certain name on it. That name has a meaning, man. And the Spirit beareth witness to these things. Go ahead, brother. Nothing is not of a coincidence. That place was named that way for a reason. The person whoever founded that place, this place right here, Ramada Plaza, it looks like a Roman building. I don't know what Ramada means, but there's a reason why he didn't just say, oh, Ramada, and just think of a random word.
Right.
Even the word plaza. I don't know what the word plaza means, but they both have a meaning, man. Go ahead, brother.
This is Hosea 2:6. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, and make a wall that she shall not find her paths.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna blind you then. Hosea 4:6. All right. Jacob is destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. The Most High fucked you up. Point blank. Period. You want to call it how it is, man. That's what happened.
And he rejects you.
And why? Because we went off, man. Because we began following these strange doctrines and these false deities and gods and idols, man. So now we went off. Go ahead, brother.
Hosea 2:7. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them.
Yeah, you ain't gonna overtake your enemies, man. You ain't gonna overtake Esau. You ain't even gonna overtake the goddamn Chinese, man. All right. Yeah, you ain't gonna overtake these things because you've been cursed, man. We've been cursed as a people, but we're being redeemed, and it's gonna get into it. You're gonna see that's what's beautiful about these prophecies, man. They always come full circle, man. He's showing us the bitter, but we're gonna take in the sweet. You see, at the Christian church, they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna start at verse. They're gonna start at the last couple verses that we'll really get into. Oh man, that's beautiful. Well, you gotta receive the bitter to have the full understanding. Go ahead, brother.
And she shall say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now.
What do they say in 1 Maccabees 1? He said, let's go back to the heathen, because then it was better with us than now. And what are they saying? Oh man, let's go back to, listen, what do they say once disaster hits their house? Or once somebody dies? Oh man, praise God. let's light a saint candle. Where was all your faith prior to that happening, man?
Yeah.
See, that's why the book of Proverbs, the first chapter, he says, what? I'm going to laugh at your calamity, man. I'm going to laugh when your fear cometh. I'm going to mock you. That's what the Most High said. Go ahead, brother.
Hosea 2:8. For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil.
It all came from the Most High, man. Right? You got a particular job that allows you to do particular things to benefit this truth or whatever the case might be. It's been set that way for the Most High. We've all been given our lots, whatever lot we have right now, in order to do what we have to do. And what do we have to do? Maximize our potential within the truth, man. So we've all been given our spot. Whether you own your own little business, whether you got this job, whether you don't even have a job, but you're looking for one. You see, we've all been given these lots to maximize our potential within this truth, man. All right, but yet you got to learn how to balance. You got to know how to balance these things. You know, I mean, I know all of us had work today, man. That's why we go to camp at 4:30. I say, all right, all of us got to quit our jobs and go to camp at noon. And, we got to do what we got to do, man. Go ahead. But we've been given we were given the ability to be off, to be here at 4:30 to do what? To do camp. Go ahead, brother.
Hosea 2:8. For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal.
Yep. then they went and prepared it for spiritual fornication. And just like if you went and you bought your woman I don't know, a coat, fancy coat, let's say, and then she went and gave it to a man that she was messing with on the side. Oh man, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face, man. Or you're getting paid and she's stealing money without you knowing and going and giving it to this guy. You see, that's what we've been doing, man. That's what we're likened unto. You see how low and tiny we become, man? And still yet the Most High is still allowing the elect back in.
And just because you brought it up earlier, the chemtrails, they actually, the stuff that they're spraying that, are on the periodic table of elements, and the two letters, I should say the four letters, they actually spell out this demon's name, Baal, because Ba is barium, which is very harmful for humans to ingest, and also aluminum is Al, which is that's also, if you're exposed to high aluminum in the air, you're breathing it. Yeah, Alzheimer's, confusion, dizziness. You brought it up last time, low sperm count.
That's why, like me personally, when I get deodorant, I get the ones that are aluminum free. And it's aluminum free because that aluminum's bad for you, man.
And that's what it is, Baal, B-A-A-L. Those two periodic table of elements, those two elements. They spell out this demon's name. And that's why Esau's got to go, man. Hosea 2:9. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof.
Yep. All right, I'm going to take everything from you then. I'm going to send you straight into chattel slavery, and you're going to lose it all. Famine. You know how many deaths? It was said that the Reubenite women, all right, the so-called Native American women, specifically of the tribe of the Seminole Indians, so-called,
over in the Florida regions.
Yep. When they were being attacked by Esau, man, they were dying of starvation, and it was said that the women were smothering their own children because their breasts couldn't produce milk because the women weren't eating. So you see, that's just proving the point. Go ahead, brother.
And my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, given to cover her nakedness.
Okay.
And now I will discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand.
I'm going to expose her, and nobody's going to be able to save her. No man shall buy you.
And not only that, there would be a famine of the word, There's over and over, there's a famine of the word in Israel, Where people, literally the fathers slept, meaning the fathers, they didn't have the truth, man. Yahweh was not dealing with our people for those whoredoms. And now, this is Hosea 2:10, And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feasts.
And all those feasts have went away. And now what do you partake in? Halloween, or Hallows Eve. I'm gonna call it what it is. Hallows Eve. All right. You know, all these different pagan holidays, like the brother had said. Go ahead.
And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them.
Well, you lost it all, man. Esau took it all, actually.
And he's that beast that's devouring your women, your children, your doctrines, you know, or I should say the one true doctrine. Really, Esau's trying to devour it, man. And I will visit upon her the days of Baalim, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lovers and forgat me, saith the Lord.
Yep. She went after her lovers and forgot me. Go ahead, brother.
Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her.
Go ahead.
And I will give her vineyards.
And these are those comforting words, man. These are those comforting words right here. And we'll be given what?
And I will give her vineyards
the kingdom,
from
man.
Thence.
We're gonna end up receiving the kingdom. Go ahead.
And the valley of Achor for a door of hope.
Go ahead.
And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth.
Right, we're going to be returned as in the days of our youth. That's why Joshua's name actually Joshua had the same name as Yahushua, which the letter J didn't exist, but they had the same name, which means he saves. You see, everything that happened in the ancient in conquering the ancient kingdom was in the same visage of this kingdom. That's why you have the ancient Exodus. You're going to have the second Exodus. That's why you had ancient Babylon. You're going to have the second Babylon. You had Sodom and Gomorrah. You also have the spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. You see, all those things happened, which were.
That's why you have the flood, and then you're going to have the fire, the missiles.
Nope. But we're going to be returned as in the days of our youth, man. Which that represented us being in the kingdom. Go ahead, brother. You had that whole generation that died without seeing it, representing the 2/3. They had to die in order to be brought back in the kingdom. Go ahead.
Hosea 15, 2 and 15, in the middle. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shalt call me no more Baali.
The word Ishi means husband, and the word that word right there, Baali, means God. So no longer are you going to call me God, but you're going to call me your husband. You see? So we're going to be re-brought back unto our husband. What did it say? I've espoused you to one husband. That's what Paul said. I've espoused you to one husband. Go ahead.
For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth.
No longer anybody going to be saying Jesus Christ. No longer is anybody going to be saying Buddha, Allah, Shivna. All them names is going to be forgotten and gone. All right?
And they shall no more be remembered by their name.
Right, they shall no more be remembered by their name. Let's get on that, brother.
God, and eventually it's going to be the Edomites too.
Jump to Matthew 22 and 1, Michael Shaw. Well, yeah, eventually the Edomite's going to be forgotten as well, man. All right, because he's also going to march for that destruction.
And no more remembrance.
Yep. Right. So, showing you the fulfillment of prophecy, man. According to the prophecies, these particular people are going to be brought out of that dead state, and then life will flourish, man. None of that has happened yet. We're still in this state. We're still in the time of Jesus Christ, man. All right. Go ahead, man.
You said 22, what?
Time. Yep.
This is Matthew 22 and 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a marriage for his son.
Yep, marriage, man. All right, there's a great marriage being prepared to happen. What is it written? The marriage of the Lamb. Okay? Those chaste virgins. No one can understand that song but the 144,000. All right, which would liken them to what? Virgins. When I say I present you, going back into 1 Corinthians 11 and 2, I present you unto one husband. All right, as a chaste virgin. If you have a husband, that means you're getting popped. All right, so it's not talking about, a physical thing. All right, that means if you have a husband, you ain't a virgin, because the act of sex is marriage according to the scriptures. Okay, but what? They were virgins because they threw this stuff off, man. They threw this off. That's where the term born again virgin actually goes back to. Man. It's not you have these great oh, I'm a born again virgin. I had sex with 13 different men and 15 different women, and I've been a born again virgin. That ain't so.
And also that word virgin, it just means a young woman,
Yep.
Doesn't mean like Esau always put in your mindset that it's someone who hasn't been popped.
Yep.
This is Matthew 22 and verse 3. And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
Right. Called the servants that were bidden for it. The Israelites. Go get all of the 12 tribes of Israel for this wedding, because they are who this marriage is between. But what did it say? Not all of them came. Go ahead.
And they would not come. Again, he sent
because they were too busy messing with these things, man. Messing with these things that can't even pick themselves up when they fall.
Wow.
Go ahead, brother.
Whoredoms.
Yep, too busy in their whoredoms, man.
Again,
You think a woman's gonna show up to her wedding if she's getting rotted down day in and day out by other men? Go ahead, bro.
Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner.
And that's what we're saying, man. We are the servants. The dinner is served, man. It's being prepared. Our way home is here. Go ahead, brother.
The end signs are manifesting. Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage.
Oh man, we're gonna have a great feast, man. When we're part of that number, when we're in that chariot looking down and brothers partying, and oh man, that's when we're gonna be celebrating, man. That's when we're gonna be partying, right?
It's gonna be real. It's gonna be. We're going to have those spiritual powers. But they made light of it and went their ways. One to his farm.
No, it's not all these people driving by, walking by. This is light thing. What the fuck? What are they doing? Go about their day.
We're just a spectacle.
Yeah, this is a light thing. Nothing. It doesn't matter to them. Go ahead.
But they made light of it and went their ways. One to his farm, another to his merchandise.
Back. One guy went to his house. Oh man, I'm gonna kick up a eat some nachos. Maybe I'll tune in on a video and give him a like. Then he had another dude that went what, to his oxen? To
his merchandise.
To his merchandise. So this guy went to his job. This guy's so busy with work, he just went right back to work. I'm back, Esau. What do you want me to do next? But you couldn't have did that for Yahweh, man. You couldn't have came to the wedding. Go ahead, bro.
And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them.
Yep, and the remnant took his servants and killed them. So then the remnant hates us, man. There's a whole lot of people that are going to catch judgment within the nation of Israel, man. Go ahead, brother.
But when the king heard thereof...
And that's where we always got to be examining ourselves, man. Make sure that you're not putting other things before this truth. And if you are, then start making moves to change it up, because this is a long road that we're going to be in, man. You're going to get all different cakers and all different battles that you're going to have to fight. And you're always going to have to examine yourself while doing so. Go ahead, brother. Slap.
Oh, you're good. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent...
Yep, the king being Yahweh. He was wroth, he was pissed. What? They didn't come? Matter of fact, they killed my servants, the prophets. Go ahead.
He sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city.
right, man. That's what's coming in the form of 200 million thermonuclear missiles, man. Go ahead.
Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready. But they which were bidden were not worthy.
Right, those that were bidden were not worthy, being the whole nation of Israel. Right. A lot of them are already catching judgment at this point. Go ahead. A lot of them have the chip. They ain't worthy, man. You got the chip. Go ahead.
Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage.
Right? Go to the highways and bid to the marriage, man. And that's exactly what's being done. All right? It's called all of us. The brothers going out on the highways and the byways has called all of us out of the world. Okay? Go ahead.
And gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests.
Right, both bad and good, because what? We've all been in a bad place, man. And we're all being chiseled to perfection to be made good. So you're gonna have different brothers who came in this thing later, came in this thing earlier, all right, who struggle with certain things, who are strengthened at certain things. That's why we're all here to help each other, man. Because this brother might battle with something that I'm actually very firm at standing against, but yet I battle something that he's firm to stand against. That's why James said what? Confess thy faults before one another that you might pray and be healed. If you're going through something, man, tell the brothers, hey, you know, this is going on. I've been having trouble battling this. This has been happening. And then brothers could pray for you. But if ain't nobody knows, and ain't nobody's praying, man. And I hope you're praying. Otherwise, you're walking that slippery slope where you're going to stumble and just fall back to the bottom where you started, man. The dog that returned to his own vomit. And we've seen it happen, man.
Man, you may have a brother that has some type of insight that, you know, can pull that demon off you.
Yep. Let's finish that verse 10.
That's what I just read. And the wedding was furnished with guests.
Oh, go ahead. Actually, go ahead and keep going. Yeah.
And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
No, this guy didn't have his wedding garment on, man. He wasn't ready. All right. Go ahead.
And he saith unto him,
and that's what that represents, is the garment being ready, being prepared, right? Because before you go out of the house, you put your clothes on, right? You get ready, you put your clothes on, you're looking fine, you're ready for the occasion. But yet, if you're caught naked, then you're caught off guard. Go ahead, brother. That's why the book of Revelation says, don't get caught without your garment being naked. Go ahead,
And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment?
Yeah, how'd you get here without no garment? Go ahead.
And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Right, he's going to take part in those 200 million thermonuclear missiles, man. Because he wasn't preparing himself for this wedding. He wasn't preparing himself to be bound back to Yahweh through Yahweh Shai, man. Right?
St. Matthew 22 and 14. For many are called, but few are chosen.
Right. Many are called, but few are chosen, man. All right. So we've been called, and now we got to ensure that we're chosen. We got to prepare for this great wedding, man. Because we've been casted off, defiled, and following all these different deities and idolatries and Cesares and Serapises and all these different gods, man. Shivnas. You got a whole on 16th Street. You got a whole group of Shivna worshippers. They go out there. I don't know if they go out every day or they just go out when we have camp. You know, on the same days, but you see them running and hopping down the street. These guys have the dedication to go out there and do that, but yet you don't have the dedication to put on that wedding garment. You lazy 2/3, man. You got a set?
Are you done on that one?
Oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this one up to close out on this one. This is Revelation 14 and 3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
And solemnly
Which-
liken them to this truth. Just like you hear a song, sometimes people don't get it. What is that? What is he saying? What's he talking about? Well, the 2/3 won't be able to get this song. Man. Esau will not be able to get this song. Moab will not be able to get this song. Only the elect of the house of Israel will be able to receive and sing this song, man.
God. It goes back to what we started the lesson out with. The
Yep, because-
whoredoms have got a strong hold on them, you know.
And that's why it said those are what? Go ahead, keep going.
But no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women,
Right, not defiled with this bullshit, man.
doctrines,
Yep.
strange doctrines. For they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth.
Follow Yahweh Shai whithersoever he goeth. What was he doing? He was going out and he was doing the work. Matter of fact, he died in the flesh because of this truth, man. So we got to be willing to do the same.
These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh.
Because of the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai. Go ahead, bro.
All right, but with that, we want to give all praise and glory unto
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Wadash.
We want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. And like always, I want to give a shout out to the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the elect of Israel.
Shalom. And above a ball.
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 Shalom.
Shalom.